It has been a terrific year. The integration of the two companies has gone very well. In many respects, we're ahead of schedule on many of the integration activities. And, as a result, the synergy dollars associated with integration is ahead of plan. And at the same time, we've begun the transformation journey. We're bringing innovative products and services to market. The most visible sign of that is the health hubs. They've gotten off to a great start in Houston, and we've laid a solid foundation for growth in the years to come. And the credit for all this goes to our 300,000 colleagues. They're absolutely committed to our vision, our strategy, and they're working hard to bring it to life.
Where are you ahead of expectations in terms of the combination factors?
You know what? There were many synergy activities in terms of combining the companies as it relates to the back office pharmacy programs and priorities. And, those are the things that have garnered a lot of momentum and ahead of plan there. And again, we're excited with what's happening with the health hubs and some of the other products that we have in pilot and the response that we're getting from our customers.
We're looking at the stock right now, and the stock over the course of the year has not performed strongly, but you have picked up pretty sharply over the last 9 months. And if we compare you to what's been happening with Walgreens shares, it's a much different story. They've been under quite a bit of pressure as there's been concerns about what's happening in the pharmacy. So it does look from that relative perspective like you guys made the right move by pivoting. What have you heard from Starboard when they came in? What are the conversations that they've started?
Well, Becky, I'm not going to comment on market speculation. What I will say is we have a regular dialogue with all our investors. We certainly appreciate their input and in their feedback. And look, I think investors see the momentum in the business. We've had 3 consecutive quarters where we beat expectations, and they're seeing tangible signs of our vision coming to life with things like the health hubs. And we had an investor day in early June. We laid out our strategy and, more important, the path forward over the next 3 years. And the stock's been up about 40% since that meeting.
Larry, when I look at your stock, you're trading more with the Aetna purchase. You're trading more like a United Healthcare, or you're trading as opposed to a drugstore company. How should investors at home think about your company and how to value it?
Well, Tom, we are a healthcare company today. That journey began many years ago, and we celebrated 5 years this past September of eliminating the sale of tobacco.
I was there with you. I was there on the floor of the stock exchange.
September 3rd, we rang the bell. It was a great day and a day that made us all proud.
It was fun.
And, we look back, 5 years ago, it was absolutely the right decision. It's opened doors for partnership, for acquisitions. Obviously, the pinnacle of that is the Aetna acquisition. And we are a healthcare company today, and we have an opportunity putting the consumer at the center of our strategy to transform the way healthcare is delivered in our country.
CVS moved very quickly in terms of saying they weren't going to sell tobacco. And I remember at the time that was a little bit of a controversial move, although it has seemed to pay dividends for CVS. What do you think about what's happening with vaping right now?
Becky, it's a great question. And I can remember the question we got back then was, well, will you carry the e-cigarettes? And I could remember going into a retail establishment that was selling the products, and I saw the device with the Hello Kitty logo and the bubblegum flavored liquid, and it absolutely raised the question in terms of, well, wait a minute, what are we doing here? And 5 years later, we see what has happened. Post the tobacco announcement, we started a campaign. Our goal, working with community partners, be the first, create the first tobacco-free generation. We've made a lot of progress. We have more than 200 college and university campuses that are tobacco-free today as a result of that program. But, vaping is taking us backwards. You see some of the statistics. Vaping's up more than 70% with school-age children. And I saw some stats recently that, more than 70% of high school students that are vaping will turn to tobacco, upon graduation. So we've got to reverse this trend.
It's a tough one. You know why? Because as an anti-nanny stater, I'm just drawn to wanting to regulate vaping, and I feel like I'm going against.
This is different for you. It's
totally
you're
different.
On the same side with it.
It's also kids.
That's what I mean.
Kids.
Marketing it to kids, and I become a nanny stater. That's a one exception to the rule.
You and Ken Langone.
Me and Bloomberg. I know, but you're right. It's like we We're just getting everyone off the nicotine from the delivery system of the cigarette, and now we're found a new delivery system for nicotine, that's flavored like cotton candy. It's just...
Yeah, and Joe, the challenge and the problem is, and we're seeing it play out, with some of the tragedies that have been, unfortunately well publicized, is, we don't know the longitudinal effect, of these products, and something has to be done.
Larry, as an investor, I think about that move to eliminate tobacco products. I think it was courageous. I like the Aetna deal. The last 6 or 9 months have been fabulous. But yet the stock is down over a 5-year period. So talk to us about the Amazon risk. Talk to us about the other risks of the business. And as an investor, as we think about your
wow, you say that like every sentence. That's amazing.
What's that?
As an investor. Yeah. It's weird. Anyway, okay, go on. Sorry.
How should I think about the business for a year from now or 2 years from now?
Well, Tom, you think about with the customer, the consumer at the center of our strategy. We spend a lot of time with our customers. What are their needs? What are they frustrated with? How do we bring solutions to that? And maybe said another way, how do we make sure we're not leaving any white space to be disrupted, by other forms of competition? And you've seen us do a number of things in terms of, the elements of how do we make, how do we redefine convenience? And you can think of some of the things that we're doing. Omnichannel is a term that is probably overused to some degree, but in some respects, we could look at our strategy and saying we're really defining what omnichannel means for health, as an example. So we're pretty excited about the innovation that we have underway, and as I compare where we are today to where we were 5, 7, 10 years ago. Innovation has now become part of our DNA, and that becomes the first part of it, and then strong execution is what brings all that to life. So, we're very confident. We're very excited about the future. One of the questions that often is asked is, you do this big mega deal, there's a lot of excitement, and 1 year later, is that excitement still there? Because now you get a different view of what's there, the complexity of what you're trying to do. And I can tell you that there's more excitement today than there was a year ago because of the opportunities in front of us.
You bring up a good point, though. There are always going to be things that you hadn't considered once you actually are dealing with putting the two together. What's been the thing that surprised you the most?
You know what, Becky, I'll tell you the thing that I have been most pleased and proud of. We do an engagement survey, with our colleagues every year. We had 250,000 of our colleagues, this past summer participate in the survey, and almost 90% of them, understood our purpose, are committed, to their role in helping people on their path to better health. It's a great foundation with which to work off of, the fact that we've got these engaged employees that, are proud of the journey that we're on and are committed to being, a part of the solution, doing their part in being part of that solution.
Was there anything that was harder than you thought?
You know what, Becky, there's, as you think about things that are really worth doing, often they're not that easy,
Sure.
And, but again, for the reason that I mentioned, we've got a very engaged workforce. We're working extremely well together as one organization. We're going to get it done.